All right, thank you. Thank you for confirming that you can hear me. We are admitting people, and I will kick off the session by 7:05. I think that's fair enough for people that joined earlier. Okay, let me show my face for a few minutes before I continue. Hi, everyone. Let me see my glasses. Okay. Let me see, my screen is on. Okay. So we will wait for a few minutes or so we can at least get some people on board, and then we will start straight. I'll be admitting people as we continue. All right, thank you for joining and welcome. Let me see if I can just take my presentation. I will need to delegate this admitting people because it will be popping up on my screen.
We can make one or two other people to host. We can make one or two other people to host.
Okay, let me make Adela here. Let me see if I can make Adela here my assistant to. Let me see if I can make him. Okay, Adela, you'll be admitting people. Let me just try. How do I do this? So can you help make Adela a host? Okay, I can see co-host. Yeah. So Adela, you just admit everyone as they join, so I don't have to. Let me see my screen. Okay, I will need this tab as time permit. Okay, so we are 7:05, and let me see how many people we have on the call. Okay, let me see. All right, pretty well. We've gotten 23 people. I think it's a good time to start. Okay, so maybe in between my presentation, I may go off screen so we can concentrate on the presentation. And thank you for joining. We're ready to start, so let's go. All right, thank you. My name is Wale Micaiah. Some of you probably got this invite through my status. It was forwarded to you. Thank you for joining. So a bit of background to my story and how I came about this session. So I'm in tech. So my first degree is statistics, and I've done masters in information technology and an MBA. About all my career journey, even before leaving university, I've been around tech, from working in cyber cafe and helping build a cyber cafe to starting my professional life. And I found computer and technology generally as something that is a vital tool for career, and irrespective of the field that you are from, technology can advance you and make you a better anything. I used to joke and I said that even if it is Yoruba you're studying, that with the infusion of technology, you will become a better Yoruba professional. Any career, So holding this session also, I've been running some session on my status, which is informal kind of sharing about coding and decoding. And quite a number of people have asked whether coding is about programming and what is it about coding and decoding. This session is just to share a bit about that and then also talk to you about ChatGPT, the AI that is currently going all over the world, that people are marveled at the intelligence of AI. And so going straight into, Adele, please help admit as many people as possible because it will be popping up on my screen and I don't want it to be distracting. So I don't know if you have seen it before, but in case you have seen it, it probably is not new to you, or if you have not used it, this session is just to allow some kind of introduction. So this is just introduction. It's just to open your mind to the new artificial intelligence technology that is currently taking the world by surprise. And then you can go further to exploit. Please, if you are on and you're not speaking, please mute so that we can have a quiet and engaging session. Please mute. Once you join, mute, please. Thank you. Thank you. All right, so you probably, so this is not a technical session. Apologies, please. I got disconnected. I'm back on now. Let me just share my screen. Host, please make me a co-host. Am I a co-host now? Not yet.
Yeah, no,
All right. Not yet a co-host.
Sound. J-Troy.
I can't hear anything again. Can anybody hear anything?
Please hold on.
We're doing the telecount.
We can hear you loud and clear. Yeah, audible.
I'm just waiting to be made a co-host, then I can share my screen. Apologies for the delay. We will start shortly, in less than 5 minutes, I think.
You have been made co-host, sir. You can continue.
All right, thank you. Thank you so much. And apologies to everyone for the break in transmission. We are live now. And so I was trying to explain, so for the benefit of everybody that just joined, my name is Wale Micaiah. I am doing this session for just to create awareness around the new artificial intelligence that is currently getting attention all over the world. And I'm doing this particularly because of the potential that I see in it and how you can leverage ChatGPT or any artificial intelligence technology out there to be more productive in your work. So I put this presentation together to just create some kind of awareness. So you can go further. By the time we are halfway through, you would have seen how you can begin to engage the solution. So it is not a technical session, but it's something around breaking down the technical area into something you can use in your everyday life. And what I have done is to just go back. So when I was thinking about this session, I was just thinking about my final year project when I was in university. So I remember vividly that I was interested in how people can learn from what has happened to achieve their objective. So as a student, I wanted to get a first class. So I was thinking around, how can I get a first class looking at all of the variables that are available to me. So for instance, I'm a man, or I'm male. I went to a public school. I sat for JAMB, I sat for WAEC, and what else? So I looked at a lot of variables and I was thinking, could any of these help me to get a first class? And if at all any of them could help me, which of them should I actually focus on? So I basically made my final year project something around helping students to focus their effort on something that can help them get the best out of school. So my final year project I think it's about over 20 years now, was looking at how to predict success, sort of. And when I finished that project, what came as a very strong variable for me to look at, or for anybody to focus on, was actually the current performance of the student. So my final year project kind of let me know that if I want to be successful in school, it is not about whether I got all A's in my school SAT, or about if I got 300 in my JAM, but that it is more important what I know, my current results. And in life also, if you look at it, if you look at people's background and what they are doing currently, it is what they are doing currently that is actually the major predictor of success. Then I thought about it that if I could do all of this, so I did it only for a sample data of people in my department then in university, the Department of Mathematics and Statistics, and it was a limited data. Imagine if I could expand this to everybody in the Faculty of Science of the University of Lagos, or I could expand this to everybody in the University of Lagos, or everybody in Nigerian universities. And it could actually tell us which of the variables. Of course, maybe we expand it to parents, to whether you went to a public school, a private school, whether you had home teacher, you had the internet, or you have less, all of those variables can be brought into the picture to now tell which variables are more important if you want to predict whether someone will be successful in school. And that was just what I did about 20 years ago. And in fact, when I went back for my master's, I did something similar, which is I was working in telco and I was looking for who is going to churn, who is going to leave us as a customer. And the same kind of data that I used to be able to make some kind of prediction. Now, bringing it to what we are doing tonight is to say that machine learning is basically machine learning about what human beings
Sorry, Wale, please unmute. We can't hear you.
Oh, I don't know when I got muted. Where did you hear last?
where you spoke about expanding the statistics to the whole of Nigeria.
Yes, okay, thank you.
Yeah, that's what. Yeah,
So,
just right before this.
okay, the slide before this. Okay. All right, thank you for the feedback. So I was just saying that that final year project, if I could expand that to the entire university or expand that to the entire universities in Nigeria, and I was able to gather their data, and of course, maybe expand it to whether they studied at a private secondary school, whether they had home teachers, whether they have their parents, the kind of school their parents went to, whether their parents are graduates, all of those variables, if I bring them together, it may change the equation, but at least you'll be able to find out what is more important for people to focus on in order to be successful in school. And the same thing also applies to life. Now, bringing it to what we are doing tonight is that with data, you can actually have a sense of the future, a sense of not the future, a sense of the future, such that if you have been able to gather data about a particular behavior, whenever you see that kind of behavior in another place, you can then infer because it looks like what you have seen before. And this is usually applicable to things that are repetitive. So why do you need to put a human being to be doing something that is repetitive? So let's give that capability to a machine. So machine knows that if I take 3 steps, I should jump. Why should a human being be devoted to taking 3 steps and jumping? Now, I was explaining that all of those methodologies, those statistical methodologies or formulas is what they have given to a machine. So the machine has learned how human beings behave. And that learning, right, is now coded into some kind of technology, which is the coding aspect. And it now becomes so it is not real, it is an artificial, it is not something that is now depending on human being. It is is an artificial intelligence that is not generated by human being. However, the starting point is that a human being thought about how do we make a process that is repetitive? How do we hand it over a computer to handle? And the whole essence of artificial intelligence is that this intelligence is not real. It is from what we can infer from systems or from what we have seen. And there comes also the limitation that if it is artificial, it probably has some point where it can then not be real. So if I have used some data in the past to develop a way of maybe doing some work, if there's now a new way of doing the work, the system cannot do it. And I'm going to show an example in this chat GPT in some of the limitations. But largely, we would do some of the things that we've known to common to human being. And it is popularly said that there's nothing new. So because there's nothing new, there's a lot of things that are repeated. And why not give that repetitive work to a human being? And some people then sat down and said, if we know a lot of the things that people do in a particular profession, can we put that capability in the hands of a computer? And that's when you now begin to see where computer can then, in quotes, replace human being. Not in its entirety, but to a large extent, computer then becomes something that you now rely upon than relying upon human being. In fact, in my experience at a point, there was a lot of customer requests that were hanging on some desk. And this organization decided that instead of having a human being that need to sleep, that need to eat, that need to do a lot of things and maybe active and be in transport, why do we need to get a human being to be attending to these things? Let's give it to a computer. The computer doesn't sleep or the intelligence doesn't sleep, it doesn't go to bed, it doesn't eat, give that capability to the computer. And they found out that most of their customer issues were sorted. Now, it is not human intelligence. Computer cannot do what human being can do. Computer can do what human being has been able to do. But what human being will do in the future, computer doesn't know it. And that's where the human intelligence comes in. And a lot of people are afraid that computer will take their job. My admonition is that, no, step up. Let computer do what it can do, and you do what computer cannot do. Therefore, let's proceed to the things I've been sharing on my status and talking about coding and decoding. So I believe that everybody needs to learn how to code somehow, right? And in my estimation is that if you have 100 people, maybe about 5 of them will be able to code. People run away from coding. And coding really is about step-by-step process of doing something. But a lot of people don't want to, it's kind of difficult for them. They're just not interested. So in my estimation is that if you put 100 people in a place, maybe about 5 of them would like to code. And these coders are the people that I call builders. They think about a problem and they turn into numbers. They think about the problem and they design it, and they design it in language that a computer can understand, right? So I call them coders or code. Now there's a second set, which I call decoder. And in that set, if you put 100 people together again, about 10 of them will be decoders. And these are the that taking time to understand what has been coded. And then they decode it for people to understand. Advertising, for training, and all of the things that YouTube can do. Now, it takes another level of understanding to say, oh, this thing that has been built that I don't know about, I want to use it or teach people how to use it. For instance, we don't know how a car is built. So the people that build cars are builders. They are thinkers and designers, and they build the cars. They put the accelerator, put everything. But then there are some people that then learn how to drive the car. They can tell you the functionality of the car. The sales guys, for instance, they can tell you all of the features of the car. Now, I have 5 people that can build, 10 people that can decode. Then we have a whole lot of people that are probably where a lot of us fall, which is 85 of us. We can't code and we can't decode. Now, I'm trying to get a lot of people to get into the decoding boundary, because in that category, you have about 85 customers. If you're a business, let me put it that way, you have about 85 customers to attend to. If you are a coder, you have about 95 people that are going to use your work. So this session, it is not about coding, right? But about decoding. Now, ChatGPT has been built for everyone. A lot of people still don't know about it. They don't know how they can leverage ChatGPT for their job, for their career, or even for parenting, or for their relationships, or for their business. And I believe that by the end of this session, someone is not muted.
Kalia D needs to mute.
Okay, please mute your mic if you're not speaking. I'm still speaking. Maybe we'll have time for other people to speak. All right, thank you. So my appeal is to get people into the decoding. And if you think that you have the grace, you can then move into coding. But first is that there's a lot of technologies that have been built. Can you understand that technology and then help other people to understand it? Now, if you are able to understand it enough, you can actually be profitable in teaching other people how to use it. This session, for instance, can cost money because I am then teaching people how to use the technology that has been built. I code, but I don't, it's not something it's something I do when it is necessary for me to do. But I play more in the area of decoding, which is understanding what has been built and then explaining what has been built. Now, what is this Chat GPT? Like I said, it's an artificial intelligence, meaning that it has an intelligence that has been learned and trained and given to it up to a particular time. So according to the papers available, they published this technology November last year, right? And within a week, about over 1 million people subscribed to it. And they were comparing to other technologies that have been in existence. And some of them took about 6 months or 1 year to be able to get to the first 1 million. But this technology, to let you know how good it is, people fell in love with it immediately. And what is the beauty? It is conversational, right? You can ask the technology questions, and it will answer you in return, and you can even follow up on that question. It is an artificial intelligence, mind you. So it is an intelligence that has been captured from what is available and then built on this solution. Now, the site is very busy, so I hope that it's available for me to show you some practical session. And I also want to, I pick some, because of the people that registered, going through their profile, I thought I should do some practical for individual profession, then they can take it away from there. It is something that you can go back and go and start learning immediately. Now, it is generative, it is pre-trained. So that the where I'm focusing on now is it's pre-trained. It is pre-trained. So all of the things that you are going to be getting, it is based on some billions of data that they have worked on, right? Billions of data that they have worked on. It will then, by the time you ask it any question, it will then generate that response to you. Now, the beauty also of this is that, okay, we'll get there. I did something. I asked about a popular figure. So I asked about this person. I said, ChatGPT, who is this man? And he told me the story about the person. And I read it and I said, wow, there's something wrong in what you have written. So I told it, I said, there's something wrong about the university that you said this person attended. I know that he didn't attend this university. That would you like to get my feedback on the university the person attended? He said, yes, I would like to get your feedback. So I told it, I said, so I'm using it for it. So because it's not a human being. So let me use him. So I told him, I said, GPT, the person attended XYZ university. So he then apologized. Imagine a computer apologizing to you that, oh, I'm sorry. It's human being that will have a conversation with you and tell you that I'm sorry, but this technology can apologize. So there's a bit of emotion that has now been built into it. Again, it is artificial. So it is an artificial sorry. It can tell you sorry many times. Again, people have also taken that and say it is somehow repetitive, to be repetitive. Now, let's go on to how you can access this technology. So at a point, I'm going to switch to my web so that I can practice it. And you can also do that on your phone. Now, this is the web. I believe that you can still hear me. Please, one person can just give me that signal that you can hear me.
Yes, we can hear you, sir.
All right, thank you. Now, this is the website, the link, chat.openai.com/chat. So on your browser, just type this, and then it will give you the screen that you're seeing on the right, which is welcome. Either you log in if you have been there, or you sign up. So you can do any of them, and you can try it on your phone. Okay, someone is asking me for the link. I shared it. Okay, hold on. Sorry, just a second. Let me just push it to my status again. I shared it earlier. Give me a second, please. Pushing it to some. All right. So you, whatever you have, you can do login or sign. So if you are using it for the first time, you do login. You do sign up. If you are doing it for the second time, or if you are coming back, just say login. So whatever you choose, and then we'll go to my next screen. So if you click on sign up, it will take you to this screen of create user and create your account. So you put your email and you continue. But if you are coming back, it will tell you to welcome. If you're like me, I use my Google account. So I just say continue with my Google account. But if you have an account, you just put your account and it will give you the next screen. Now I will go back again. On your browser, type chat openai.com/chat. You have the second screen, which is login. So I hope that is available. Adela, is it available? Okay, it's available. All right. Because it's very busy. In fact, when you log in, it may tell you that there's a lot of people on the screen or something. But thank God it's available now. So you log in or you sign up. And if you are logging in, if you are signing up, it gives you this screen. If you are logging in, it gives you welcome back. And this is what you see. So on your screen, you will find something like this. Chat GPT. So the borderline around chat is not there. I was going to put it there. And you will see examples, capabilities, and limitation. So my screen, I toggled it to be dark, but you can on your left-hand side, you will see light mode, and you can change it to a brighter screen. But this is, so here it's saying, for first example is that explain quantum computing in simple terms. So this is someone that is asking ChatGPT a question about quantum computing. Second is that got any creative ideas for a 10-year-old's birthday. So someone is asking it. So I said I will use him. Is asking him or her a question about 10 years old birthday. And the last one is saying, how do I make an HTTP request in JavaScript? So this technology attends to all professions. So there are technologies that have been built, there are AIs that have been built for a specific industry. So for instance, you can see a tech that is built for only, say, maybe lawyers. There are AIs that are built for only engineers, only real estate surveyors, only journalists and all of, but this particular one is for everybody. Now, what are the capabilities of ChatGPT? It can remember what you said earlier in the conversation. So I was telling you about an example about someone that I asked. So I asked for, tell me about this man, and he says, this is this man, and he went to this school. And I said, no, he didn't go to this school. Would you like to know the school the man studied? He said yes. So it would hold conversation with you as though you are talking to a human being. It will allow you to provide follow-up correction. So like I told you, I was able to correct it, but this is a problem. I corrected it and said this person, so he told me the person studied at the University of Benin. And I said, no, this person did not study at the University of, sorry, the person studied at the University of Lagos. I said, no, this person did not study at the University of Lagos. He studied at the University of Benin, from what I know. Then he came back and said, thank you for letting me know, telling me thank you for letting me know and blah, blah, blah. Then I said, can you update your knowledge with this? Then he told me that I am an artificial intelligence, blah, blah, blah. Now, I came back the second time, maybe after I just closed the session and I came back and I asked the same question. At some point, he told me, I don't know this person. And I was like, wow. Somebody that I just, when you're telling a child and said, I just told you this thing right now, but ChatGPT is like that. It's like a baby that can forget because it doesn't store any of those things. The data that was used to build this technology was gotten 2020 or so, I think maybe early part of 2021. Then they started working on it. So there was a cutoff date. So if you can ask ChatGPT some questions and it will tell you that based on what it knows, it doesn't have a record of that kind of. In fact, I asked ChatGPT that who will win Nigerian presidential election. He told me that, sorry, I can't help you. I'm not meant to, you know. So it will give you feedback, and you can take that feedback to then know whether you want to look for other sources. Now, it is trained to decline inappropriate requests. So if you ask, in fact, I asked about, give me a joke about Nigeria, and it says that it cannot tell, it declined that request. So ChatGPT has been given some kind of emotion. You know, when you are asking a human being some questions and it's saying, I know I can't give you that answer. The same thing, this technology can do that. Now, it has also limitations. We will get to some of them, but I will just read this one that is on the screen. May occasionally generate incorrect information. I've given the example. It may produce harmful instruction or biased content. Then the knowledge is as at 2021. So now, where do you begin from? In fact, I did some of the things I will be sharing, and I said, how do I use it? So how do you use this technology now? Now, when you get to this point, the yellow arrow that you're seeing is where you type your question. Now, I think I forgot something. People have asked, what is the difference between this technology and Google? In fact, it is said that this may actually replace Google. One, Google is not conversational. This is conversational. And Google will give you a lot of options. So you can be lost in Google. And sometimes if they are sponsored content, those things can come to the top. It doesn't mean that they are correct. It's because someone has paid. Right now, ChatGPT is not connecting, is not looking for online answer. Now, Google is better than this because Google can tell you about yesterday's event. ChatGPT cannot tell you that there was a breaking into some banks or ATM yesterday, but Google can tell you that. So Google is more alive than ChatGPT. ChatGPT is intelligent about the data that has been trained. Once you create a new website, Google can find that website and bring information from it. ChatGPT cannot do that. So those are some of the limitations that is experiencing. This site is going to be, they're probably going to make it a subscription base, maybe sometime in the future. They're probably going to connect it to the internet such that it can then collect real-time data, maybe connect to Wikipedia or any other source that is proven, maybe to institutions or to newspaper, or to news agencies, where they can trust the data and then be bringing feedback from those sources. That's probably where it is going. Now, so I said, how do I use this solution? So here you type in whatever you are looking for. You can tell that, how do I sleep early today? It will give you an idea of how you can sleep early. So let's go on. Now, ChatGPT knows a lot. That's the truth. I'm amazed at what it knows, right? It knows a lot. On my status, I currently started reading about, I said I want to read 24 books in this year. So I created a group and a lot of people joined. And at that time, I created about 24 books. Then I said, let me exploit ChatGPT. It was mind-blowing. ChatGPT can actually recommend books that you can read. It can tell you the top 10 books in a particular profession. So I checked it and I said, wow, this actually tallies with what I've actually picked. But it was a lot easier. In that my exercise, it took me days to be able to come up with those books. But with just sitting in front of ChatGPT, it gave me the answer. And so I had this session with my children, right? I did it with my family. When something is good, your family should be the first person you share with. So I did it with my children, and as we're having that session, I think they gave my daughter an assignment in school, and she asked me to ask ChatGPT the questions. So I said, no, this girl, don't do this, please. Don't do this, because what it means is that you can then be lazy because ChatGPT will basically write your essay for you. Anyway, what are the things that you can do? As a programmer, you can bring a code that has been giving you problem, and ChatGPT will give you the answer. In fact, I asked my nephew, he's a data scientist. So I was asking him, I said, have you been using it? He said, yes, that he's been using it with Python. And this you give him the correct line of code that he has missed. You want to compose music, fairy tales, student essay, ChatGPT. You want to answer test questions, ChatGPT. You want to develop a marketing plan, ChatGPT. In fact, you have interview and you want to ask yourself some questions, ChatGPT. You want to write poetry or love songs or love lyrics and everything, ChatGPT. In fact, I was sharing with I shared with my family, so I was sharing with my sister-in-law, and she's a lawyer. So I said that ChatGPT can actually produce me an NDA. So why do I need to go to a lawyer? Well, that was an error. Yeah? You can't depend on what he has given you and just take it and go and use. So ChatGPT is not for lazy people. It is not just given to you to then run with it. It is given to you, and then you now use human intelligence to put it in your own way, right? That is going to almost create some set of lazy people, but that is not the purpose. The purpose is that artificial intelligence, you then need to pick it and make it and add your human intelligence. Remember, as a human being, you are superior to technology. So ChatGPT can offer counseling services. So one time I put it there, I said, how do you do something, something relationship-wise? And he gave some nice steps that you can follow. Now, in a blind test, they judged ChatGPT to pass graduate level exams at this university, and he got it up to a C+, right? A graduate level exam, he was able to pass it. But he knows a lot, right? But it is not perfect, right? But it doesn't know it all. So, like I said earlier, it sometimes writes plausible sounding but incorrect, nonsensical answers, right? So if you don't know that the answer is wrong, ChatGPT is not for you. So you can search for something. If you cannot, decipher whether this thing is wrong, you will just be copying something and go and use it that way, and it is not helpful. It's sensitive to tweaks. So sometimes ChatGPT responds to the person that is asking it question. The same way Google will give you an answer based on your question. ChatGPT can also give you the same thing. So you need to learn how to ask the right question. The model is often excessively verbose, overuses certain phrases. So it will always tell you that I'm trained by OpenAI. I'm AI. I'm trained, and no, you keep repeating those things when you ask it some questions. Then it guesses. It guesses that this is what you are trying to say. If, for instance, you probably spell something wrongly, it will guess. We won't correct you. So it sometimes will respond to harmful instruction. So it can respond to harmful instruction. In fact, one of the things that has also been identified is that it can be used to generate phishing email. And computer can deceive computer. And that's for the guys in cybersecurity or fraud area. It is seen as something that can be used to beat the intelligence of other systems. So it can write introduction and abstract section of scientific articles. And that's another challenge that people are also raising. And in fact, people have been caught using ChatGPT for homework like this. So details in the essay suggest that ChatGPT may have been used in the writing of this paper. So if you are a teacher, for instance, and your student is using ChatGPT for you, how do you know? How do you know that this boy is actually not writing this assignment? Some parents will hide it away from their children, but if they will find out somehow. So the best is to, expose them to it, let them know, and let them know why it is more important that they relate to it as someone that is guiding them, not somebody that is going to give them the answer totally. So, in fact, in the next section slide, some schools are banned. They've disallowed people accessing that link. So as of January 4th, New York City Department of Education has restricted public access, to it, because it's almost like your students are now sharper than you. They can tell you questions that you don't answer, that you don't know, because they are using ChatGPT. ChatGPT is not supposed to be copied. It's supposed to be something that will enhance you. Once technology can give you an answer, you as a human being, you need to step it up. And the thing also is that if you are into a field that is producing original content, ChatGPT will not help you, or it will help you to know the knowledge that is available so that you can look for something else to do, right? If you, for instance, you're supposed to write about, say, a city, and you come to ChatGPT and it tells you about all he knows about that city, then the work begins for you to go and look for something that ChatGPT has not written about. So a university professor catches students cheating with ChatGPT. So those are the downside of ChatGPT. Now, how best can I use you? So that's what I did. And this is what I believe that you can ask ChatGPT after this class. How best can I use it? And this is what it told me. It said, you can use me in many ways. Some of the most common include asking questions. So what question do you have? ChatGPT, like that, yeah, let me market my organization. See, I need to send money to my parents. Quick teller. I need to pay a bill. Quick teller. I need to recharge my phone. Quick teller. So this one is, I have a question. ChatGPT. I want to have a conversation. ChatGPT. I can't sleep. ChatGPT. So you can hold conversation. It can help you to complete some task. And you just stop there. Just say, those are the things you can use me to do. I can then proceed further and say, I have this question. What can you tell me about it? And it will continue. Now, I am going to a section. So this section is supposed to last for roughly about 1 hour, 30 minutes. So I have someone that is going to apply ChatGPT to HR. So the person will make about 10, 15 minutes presentation. But let me just wrap up this section. And all I just did was to create some things that ChatGPT said you can do if you are, for instance, if you're a lawyer. So I asked, this is all ChatGPT. So I wasn't willing to do a lot of things. I just said, okay, ChatGPT, I need you to tell me the fields that I can apply it to. I said, you can apply me to natural language. First, you can help me to, that can be used for tasks like text generation, machine translation, sentiment. So I've been given a French assignment. I don't know what to do, ChatGPT. So I can come, bring an English word, type it in, ChatGPT will give me a French. I can have conversation, right? I can be used to develop conversation agent and chatbots. So some organizations actually adopting the technology for some things. And for instance, a telco. What do people call telco for? So at a point in my career, I worked in a telco, and most of the things that they call is that I have overscratched my card. Then, when you still need to buy a card and scratch it. I've overscratched my card. Imagine that you just dedicate that responsibility to a machine. And what do I mean? You overscratch your card, you go online, you put some digits. So they will tell you to put maybe the last 4 digits or the digit that you can see or something, or the serial number, and it will just generate the number for you. Then you will need to call. When you call, you wait on the line about maybe 15, 20, 30 minutes, depending on the time you call. And then somebody will pick your call and say, how may I help you? And if you say, I overscratched my card, I can't see a number. And the person asks you to make sure that I understand what you have just said. You bought a card. You repeat to you. And then the person will say, okay, can I have the number that you can see? Can you give me the serial number? You provide those things. And you say, can I place you on hold? Why are you so and so? And you're on hold. And you come back and tell you that, sorry, the system is yet to respond. Please, may I put you on hold? And you put you on hold. And you wait for like 5 minutes again. And they come and say, oh, so sorry. Our system is down now. Please call back again, maybe at another time. And maybe the system will be up then. Is there anything I can do for you? Say, you can't do anything for me. I want my number. Now, that is totally eliminated with ChatGPT. If this company empower ChatGPT to handle that, what will you do? When you overscratch your card, you just go online, put your serial number, and it generates for you your number, and you go and you can recharge your line. That entirely eliminates some jobs automatically. And what it then means is that you cannot be doing that kind of job and then be comfortable. What it means again is that you have to learn this technology. And then as part of what you can do in your job, you can say, I know how to use AI to respond to customer inquiries. And that sets you apart from many other people that are doing the same job with you. The same thing with HR, which someone is going to share with us. So someone in marketing said ChatGPT can be used to generate personalized product recommendation and advertisement based on user reference. Someone in health, analyze medical record, extract information, and assist in diagnosis. Imagine that you can go to the hospital and they tell you to enter a room and talk to the machine like if you are talking to a doctor. Doctor, good morning. Oh, good morning. How may I help you? I have headache. Okay. Are you stooling? Your body temperature? You know, ask all of those questions and you respond to it and it tells you that, okay, go to the lab, we'll go and run some tests and come back. That's work. ChatGPT will be able to do it. Now, I did something around HR, and it says that ChatGPT can help you do resume screening. It can help you with employee engagement, HR chatbots. You know, there are some organizations that you have to call for when you're going on leave. You call when you are traveling. You call all of those things. ChatGPT can handle that. Employee training, recruitment, diversity and inclusion compliance. It said ChatGPT can do that. So if you're in HR, you can do that. ChatGPT can also do, for if you're in education, for instance, personalized training. It can generate personalized learning material for students based on their abilities. So learning styles and interests and everything, you can basically relate to ChatGPT as a student will relate to a teacher. It can help in teaching. It can help in content generation. So if you have, maybe you have a student that is in basic 4 and you need to teach, you can create you a work, a plan on how to pass across a message. I'm wrapping up my session so that the other person can take up. Then if you're a lawyer, says it can help you to do legal research. It can help you to do question answering, predictive analysis. It can help you do contract analysis. Like I told you, I asked ChatGPT to develop an NDA for myself and a co-founder or a caterer, and he developed something for me. And within 2 minutes, it was up. And this is for marketing. This is for journalism. So you are a journalist, you create content. ChatGPT can also help you. Now I want to go to the practical section. It's just conversation I want to have with it, while I will ask Chinaza to come in for a few. Chinaza, if you're on the call, let me know so that I can give you the session. But I'm going for the live session just to interact with it and see what ChatGPT can do for us in that short time. So I will stop sharing this and I'll share another screen. Please do confirm that you can still hear me so that I know that you're there. Can you hear me?
Yes, we can.
All right, thank you. So I'm here now. If you can see my screen, just let me know so that I can start my session on ChatGPT.
Yes, we can see your screen, sir.
All right, so I want to have a conversation as a what now? Okay. Maybe the idea will come. So I said open. So I've opened this. That's why it's giving me this screen. Normally, it should tell me to log in or sign up, but these are all what I've opened it before. So it's saying, what do I have to do? So what would you like to know today? That's like what ChatGPT is asking you. What would you like to know? For instance, I am developing a product. I want to identify type of customers that will like that product. That can be a question you have with ChatGPT. Someone's mic is not muted. Right. I have a question here in my chat. Said, can ChatGPT help in preparing a business plan? Yes. So let me just take this question and bring it to here. Thank you for that question. I'll just ask ChatGPT. So look at what I've done. Can ChatGPT help in preparing a business plan? That is the question. I didn't change it. I just put a question mark and I say enter. So it's more or less like maybe thinking, generating, looking at the database and say, yes, I can assist with creating a business plan by providing information and insights to market research. So, and it goes on. It goes on. That's all. So you may want to take this further and say, okay, can you prepare me a particular business plan? Now, it also allows you to provide feedback. So here on the right-hand side, you will see that it's telling you to put like a thumbs up or down. So if the response is not good enough, you can mark it down, or you can say, yeah, this is good. Yeah, yes, you can actually ask it. So let me give you this assignment. Give me a business plan on what? Selling clothes. Sure. So this is all ChatGPT. And this is more like going to Google and go and be looking for a business plan, but it's giving you the outline, so to say, and say, this is all that you need for, and it says that this is just a general outline and can be modified based on the specific requirements of your clothing business. So yes, you can leverage ChatGPT for your business plan. All right. Chinaza, are you available? Can I get a signal that you're there so that you can take us through how an HR professional, for instance, can use ChatGPT? All right, waiting for it. But let me have a conversation with it. So one of the things that they've also mentioned is that AI can be biased, right? Can be biased to some people. And in fact, some of the concerns also is that it can be, okay, we don't have, if you are within country, it's probably tribalistic, but it can be racial in terms of its response. So again, general concerns about AI is that it can be used for racial profiling. It can respond to you in a particular way because you have this descent, you know? Those are some of the challenges that are common with, that is common with AI in general. So someone did a practical example and was asking about Donald Trump. And the feedback it gives on Donald Trump makes it look very bad. And he asked about Joe Biden, and the feedback it gives on Joe Biden was a good one. So they're like, AI is somehow getting to be partial. So it means that if the world sees you as a bad person, it can inherit that perception of the public, and then that is what is then fed to people. So if, for instance, they've adopted a thinking that Black people or people from a particular tribe are this, AI will give you exactly the, and that it is what they say about garbage in, garbage out. AI will give that kind of response. So it is not everything that AI tells you that you take. Like I said, you are human. You have human intelligence. It has artificial intelligence. And if it's artificial, it means it can disappear. It means they can erase it. So I'm trying to get the HR, the person that is supposed to handle the HR session, but is not responding. But if you have any question, you can drop it in the chat for room, and I and I can respond to it. So the question here, let me see. I'm going through my question, the chat room.
Okay.
Somebody's giving it a name, Chat GPT. Chat GPT, generative pre-trained transformer, not GPT. All right. So earlier I said, give me. So I was saying that you can give me an NDA on what? On renting a property. So whatever that is repetitive in your job, you can actually bring it and give it to HR. Sorry, HR GPT to automate for you. So instead of drafting and sitting down and cracking your brain on what you need to write, this can actually get you started. Oh dear, this is someone that's muted. Okay, I'm meeting the person. All right, so this is a non-disclosure agreement that ChatGPT has generated. Still generating it. Let me try and reach the. All right, this is a non-disclosure. So lawyers, don't be afraid. Your job is safe, but you need to step up above what ChatGPT can do. Leverage it for your, for whatever you want to do. Again, don't copy this and go and say, this is my NDA with you. Sorry, don't do that. You still need a professional to be able to. So you still need a professional to help you, but at least it can get you started. And you can start from tonight. And one thing I did earlier was also to ask for interview question for a particular role. And let me practicalize it. So you have an interview, you can let the computer ask you some questions. So let me type it while it's generating. I have an interview for what role? What role now? For a data analyst. Okay, my nephew said data analyst. For I have an interview for the role of a data analyst. What are the likely questions? Please go on mute if you are not speaking to this class. All right, so it's telling me, can you describe your experience with data analysis and statistics? So these are likely questions that ChatGPT can is giving you, that you may want to just go and check whether you are right or you have an answer to them. So you have an interview. Let ChatGPT be your interviewer and give you expo. All right, so these are 14 questions. 14 straight questions. So by the time you go through this, you will know whether you are ready or not. And you then know where to go and, make up. So the things that you can ask and engage it with, you can engage it based on your profession, based on your field. You have a birthday to celebrate, you have an anniversary to plan, you have a meeting to plan, you have something to do, you need an idea to, anything that you think you want to do, AI or ChatGPT can get you started on that journey, and you can take it from there to because you are the professional, you know how to ask and change the response that is giving you. What else is? I'm trying to read the questions in there. Okay, so So you've been on the call, so I can get you on now. If you are ready, I will just make you, so I'm seeing that, let me look for you and make you a co-host so that you can present. All right,
Okay.
I'm making Talia, right? Yeah, Talia. So let me look for you and make you a co-host and get you to start. So we have like less than 30 minutes though. So let me make you a co-host. All right, you can share your screen once you get. I've made you a co-host. Share your screen, then just give us some tips on how an HR professional can use ChatGPT to be a better HR professional. Adding artificial intelligence to human intelligence. All right, please unmute and speak.
Okay. Good evening, Mr. Wale. Good evening. Good evening, everyone. Please, am I audible enough?
Yes, I can hear you. Yeah, I think.
Okay. Please, can you make Chinaza Mary a co-host? That's the screen I'm going to be sharing with. I'm speaking with my phone, but I'm going to be sharing with Chinaza Mary account. Okay, I can share my screen actually. Okay. So okay, please can you see my screen? I'm just going to use.
I can see your screen, so you just go on a presentation mode and then shoot. Okay, yeah, go on. I think you're on. Go on.
Okay, sorry. Okay, so we are just going to be talking about HR analytics with ChatGPT. So my name is Chinaza Mary Dinejesi. I'm a human resource analyst and also a data scientist. So the first time I heard about, or I came across
Chinasa,
Sir, can you?
Do you
Yes,
want
sir,
to
I can
put
hear
it
you.
on presentation mode?
Yeah, but
Can you put
this
it on
thing is,
presentation mode?
yeah, it's blocking me actually.
No problem. Go on. Continue.
Okay,
No problem. We can see your
let
screen.
me.
No, go on.
Okay, thank you.
Go on.
So
So
as
we don't.
Okay, no problem. So the very first time I heard about ChatGPT, I was sort of nervous because I felt, oh my God, this AI technology is about to take our jobs. Oh, my father. So it sort of gave me the urge to actually learn about it, and then I found out that there's a lot you can actually do with ChatGPT as a professional. You can actually apply to anything at all, as Mr. Wale has rightly said. You can like I wrote here, automate the boring task. Like you can take off some tasks from your hand and just leave it to the AI intelligence, to the artificial intelligence. So I'm just going to do an introduction. What is HR analytics, first of all? That's what I'm going to start with. So HR analytics is also known as people analytics, workforce analytics, or talent analytics. And it's basically the application of data analysis techniques to help organizations to make better decisions related to their employees. And it actually involves collecting data, analyzing data, interpreting data, the data that is related to every aspect of HR, such as employee engagement, turnover, recruitment, performance, diversity and inclusion, and all that. So basically, you can actually use HR analytics for decision making. You use HR analytics to improve employee retention, to manage your talent, to manage costs, to increase employee efficiency and to ensure that your employees comply with your organization policies and practices and regulations. So, okay. So, like I said, HR analytics is just a subset of data analysis. And here I just gave an overview of data analysis, which is the process of examining and interpreting data to extract meaningful insights and informing the decision making. So, for you to be able to like analyze your data, you need to have a good knowledge of, some analytical tools such as Python, Excel, Power BI, SQL, or any other analytical tools that is readily available. And data analysis data analytics includes the following process. You have to collect your data. After collecting your data, you have to clean it. Cleaning it means you are removing irrelevant information from your data. Maybe you have empty cells or null values, as we call it in Python. You remove null values, you remove missing data, you remove duplicate values and all that, just so that your data will be very clean. And for you to be able to actually analyze a data, for you to actually get the insight you want to get from your data, you have to clean your data. Most of the work in data analytics actually goes to cleaning your data. You could actually spend, let's say, 70% of your time cleaning data in the old data analytics. And so the results you get from your data analysis is dependent on your data cleaning. So after you clean your data, that is when you now explore your data such that you want to get insight from the data that you've already cleaned. And from here, you is where you do your visualization. Visualization is all those charts and charts, where you see charts, you see graphs and all that, all those visuals you see, they are the visualization. So after that, you go into data modeling. In this step, this is where machine learning actually comes in. You model your data, you train your data to make sure that it gives you to give you the accurate prediction or insight that you want to get from your data. Then after that, you do your data visualization. Like I said, that's where you get your charts, your graphs, and your maps, which will aid in presenting your findings in a report to necessary stakeholders. So we're now going to go into ChatGPT with HR analytics. So, like Mr. Wale has rightly said, ChatGPT can do a lot of things. So ChatGPT is what Google. We use Google, we use Grammarly. Some of us use Grammarly to correct our, we write articles and want to like be able to like see that, okay, what I've written is good enough, or there's no error in what I've written. There's no grammatical error. There's no semantics error. Sorry, there's no semantics error or any error that is capable of reducing my efforts, my writing efforts. So we use Grammarly for that. But now ChatGPT can do what Google cannot do. It can also do what Grammarly cannot do and what other natural language processors cannot do, because ChatGPT is actually a natural language processor. For my findings, it was said that, or it was reported that the way they actually developed ChatGPT, ChatGPT was actually trained. They did a lot of training, like people, the human testers, as they call them, the human testers, we have conversations. So from the conversations they have, they're able to record, they're able to like do some recordings, then they're able to like train this AI on what people are saying and the available data that is available up till 2021. So from anything that is after 2021, you really not see anything that is after 2021 on ChatGPT. You can't find any information on it after 2021. So basically, it is applicable in HR analytics, and you can use it to automate or support your HR analytics task. So I did this smart art actually to show you what ChatGPT can do in terms of HR analytics. So you have predictive modeling. In this predictive modeling, you have it can do data collection, data cleaning and pre-processing, model training, model evaluation, and model deployment. However, ChatGPT cannot code. It doesn't know how to write code. But it can show you, it can help you to, it can show you maybe step by step on how to use maybe Python now to analyze data. It will not write code for you. It won't do that. So what you can do with ChatGPT is that you collect your data, and before then, you integrate ChatGPT into your HR systems. Say, let's say your HR, human resource management system, your applicant training system, your performance management systems, your learning management systems, your time and attendance systems, and then the benefit administration systems. You have to integrate it into the system. I think maybe the backend guys will know how to do that, because you have to integrate it into the system so that it can, it will be able to like collect the data that is constantly going into those systems. So let's say you have all your employees now in the organization, and the information is going into this let's say the HRMS, the human resource management system. The information is there. So ChatGPT now already integrated into the system has access to this particular system. So it has access to the information that is already in the system. So it would be able to like generate insights. It would be able to generate information based on what is already inside that system, because it is already integrated. That's the only way it can collect data. And then the cleaning of the data and the pre-processing has to be done by an expert. It cannot do this one on its own. It has to be done by a data scientist or a data analyst. A data is a professional that has to do the cleaning and the pre-processing. That's if that particular data is not integrated into the system. So you just want to draw insight from a set of data that is not part of maybe any HR system. Say you just got the data from somewhere and you just want to use it. You want to draw insight from it. You have to clean it. As a data scientist or a data analyst, you have to clean the data, and you have to make sure that there is no unnecessary information in the data, such that it would affect the insight that you draw from it. Because like I said initially, the insight you gain from your data depends on how well you clean your data. If you don't clean your data very well, you are likely to get inaccurate results. So you have to clean your data so well, such that the insight you are going to get from your data is valuable, is accurate. Yes, let me say is accurate and consistent with what you want. So it is after you clean your data and you have pre-processed it that you can now give it to ChatGPT to draw insights from. So ChatGPT can now help you to draw insight from it based on recurring themes. Let's say there are what's the English I will use now? There are frequent things, frequent words, frequent values that occur. It will be able to like use those values that it keeps seeing to generate insight. So let's say, for instance now, from the data you have more employees complaining that they do not have enough work-life balance, or they do not have enough they are not being engaged in their jobs, or their job description does not match what their job description doesn't really match the particular task they do. So based on this frequent inputs from employees, it will be able to say, okay, this is the problem that the employees are facing. All of them, or majority of them, are complaining that they do not have work-life balance. Majority of them are saying that they do not, they are not being paid well, or their job description does not actually match their job responsibilities. The job they carry out doesn't match their job description. So you're able to like draw out insights from that. So the next one is natural language processing. I said, or ChatGPT will help you analyze the text, like I already said, from the data that you provide it with. It will analyze the text. It will not extract insights and information from it by identifying common themes. Then it will not analyze the employee sentiment analysis, like I already said. Then the next one is now to automate HR processes. So it can, ChatGPT, based on the insight that it has drawn now, based on what it has already found out from the data you give it, it will be able to generate reports. You can say, ChatGPT, can you write a report on the insights that you have gained? It will now generate the report for you. It can even help you write it. It will help you write it. Then it will not help you to say, okay, you can now ask it, what do you think I should do based on the report you've written? It will now go further and say, I think you should do this or do that. You understand? It will just give you a guide. Okay, so it will now give you a guide on the kind of decision you should make. Then you can also use ChatGPT to store information, knowledge base. You can use it to store information. You can use it to store, say you want to recruit, please let's mute our mics, please. Say you want to recruit employees now, and you want to recruit maybe engineers or data scientists or data analysts or backend engineers. You can say, ChatGPT, please could you generate interview questions for a software engineer or a backend engineer? It would actually list it out for you. You can even tell ChatGPT, please, could you, okay, for instance, now you have a job description, say people that are looking for jobs actually, or people that are trying to apply for a particular job. You have a particular job description. You can copy it and paste on the chat box and then say, ChatGPT, can you please write a CV for me on this, based on this job description? And you'll see it, right? You can even go a step further and say, I have this experience, this number of years of experience. I've worked in so company. I have these particular skills. And it will go ahead and generate a CV for you based on the information you've provided for it. The most important thing you should know is that ChatGPT works on information you give to it. It works on information that it already has, but because you are having like a conversation, personally, I see ChatGPT as my friend, because it's like I'm talking to a human being, because it's as if it knows what I want to hear. So it is what I actually give him now, or give it, sorry. What I give ChatGPT now that is able to like act on and give me the answer I want. And then based on also the answer that you get them, that it has already given you, it can generate more answers. You can go a step further and say, ChatGPT, okay, now Mr. Wale was saying you could use ChatGPT to generate business plans. I've actually done that before. And to be honest, I also asked ChatGPT, who's going to be the president of Nigeria. I asked him, and he was like, no, I'm an AI and I don't have the capacity or the ability to make predictions, because it cannot make predictions. It is an artificial intelligence. It can. Please let's mute our mics. Meanwhile, please, am I still being heard? So that I will know that I'm not.
Yes, yes, please.
Okay. Okay. So as I was saying, I've asked. Okay, I already said that. So ChatGPT cannot act on. It cannot do predictions. It doesn't know how to do that. But it can. It can. Okay. Not that it cannot make predictions. Now it cannot. Let's say foresee the future. It cannot do that. Even human beings cannot do that. But we know that AI can make predictions based on trained data, based on the data that they've been trained on. You have to train your AI. You have to train your machine to be able to make predictions, and to be able to train your AI, your machine. It means that you have to keep feeding it with data. You have to keep giving it data. So it is with that data now it will be able to, like, okay, see let's say similar patterns. It would actually study the patterns, study the things, and be able to say, okay, this is actually what is likely to happen. So like I said, it cannot make predictions because it cannot make that presidential prediction because it doesn't know what happens after 2021. It doesn't know what happens. His knowledge, the knowledge of ChatGPT is limited to 2020 down and to previous years. So I've asked ChatGPT to actually, give me business ideas. And then for you to be able to actually get what you want from out of ChatGPT, you have to be very specific with your request. You have to be very, very, very specific. You can even say, ChatGPT, I want you to act as an, to be honest, I'm working on my MBA. I'm trying to write my project, and it was very difficult for me to actually come up with project topics. And I said, ChatGPT, please, I want you to act as an MBA student, and I want you to generate project topics based on project topics related to management. ChatGPT gave me 15 topics, and then I said, can you generate more? It generated more. So sometimes, most times, ChatGPT can give you like 5 answers. You can go further and say, give me more, to give you more. If you're not okay with what it has given you, say, give me more, to give you more. If you keep saying, give me more, it will keep giving you more. But the downside to it is that more is giving you, it can still be similar with the one it has given you before. But the thing is, it is giving you based on your request. It will not tell you no. It will just keep giving you. But it will still, some of the things it has given you will still be similar to the previous responses that it has given you. So if it has given you 15 responses before and you want more, it will give it to you. So there was actually a time I said, ChatGPT, I want you to give me what are the unexplored areas in tech in Nigeria? And it gave it to me. I said, okay. I even asked ChatGPT to provide me with business name, and it gave me business names that were making mad sense. It was really making sense. And then I had this business name that I wanted, I wasn't really sure of. And I said, ChatGPT, what do you think about this business name? And it says, that he's not able to like make correct, to give me correct answers. But based on the name of my business name, he's able to like understand, he's able to like see the similarities between my business name and the particular business I'm trying to do. And it actually gave like analysis of the name, and the analysis it gave me was actually matching my reason for actually adopting a particular business name. So ChatGPT can actually be very accurate to some very extent. And then I also wrote that ChatGPT can be used as an HR chatbot. So for instance, say you okay, like Mr. Wale has already said that you can actually use you can use it to like respond to people or something. But for you to be able to like use ChatGPT as an HR chatbot, like I said, it has to be integrated into the HR system, and you have to have given it some data, because it is from that data now that it will be able to interact with your employees. It is from what you have fed it that it will be able to give, it will be able to respond to your employees actually. So you can, if maybe you have new hires and you want to do onboarding, you can assign this particular task to ChatGPT and then remove that task from your workload. Or maybe you want and you know how HR is now. HR can be very overwhelming. You have a lot of people coming to meet you and all that for problems and for inquiries and all that. ChatGPT, you can just integrated into the HR system of your organization. You can use it to solve the problem of people coming to meet you at all times. People would ask ChatGPT a question and they are able to like get the correct answers to it. Say, ChatGPT, I have this okay, HR, maybe you can tell ChatGPT, please, I want you to answer these employees as a human resource manager. You understand? And then employees can now come, ask ChatGPT the questions that they want to ask and get accurate answers based on the data that you have fed it actually. So please, is anybody having any questions, you can ask while I continue. So I wrote out here different ways you can actually incorporate ChatGPT into your HR analytics. So you can use it for workforce demographics, employee recruitment, retention and turnover, compensation and benefits, employee engagement, satisfaction and productivity. So basically, you can use it to find out who is likely to leave your organization, who is likely to leave in the next maybe 1 year or 2 years, you understand, or who is at the risk of leaving. Then you can use it to like improve employee engagement based on what I said before, maybe from employees survey saying, okay, they are not really engaged or they're not really being managed well in their organization. You can use ChatGPT to like draw up insights to solve this particular problem. So basically what ChatGPT do for HR is, from the data that you're able to, that you feed ChatGPT to be able to like draw up insights, help you to, extract information, help you to identify common things and trends in your or patterns in your organization and find out how to how to manage these things, how to manage your employees better. It's not actually take anybody's job away. It's just a call for you to actually scale up, become take a step further ahead of other people, and then become more tech savvy. If I'm to say that, become more tech savvy. You can even, as an HR person, take up coding lessons like Mr. Wale said. Learn Python, learn SQL, learn Power BI, so that if ChatGPT is saying, okay, use this particular code you can, okay, let me just say it like this. You can say, I want you to help me to generate this code. Help me to, or what particular code can I use to find out employee how to retain employees in the organization. It will actually generate those code for you. It will not write it for you, but it can give you a step-by-step guide on how to do that. So if you're not somebody that knows how to code, you might not really understand that particular code. So you have to learn it, you have to understand, you have to have the knowledge of programming. Usually it is we use Python to actually analyze data in data science or HR analytics. So if you don't have the knowledge of Python, or if you're using Excel, if you don't have good knowledge of Excel or SQL or Power BI, you will not really understand what ChatGPT has given you as an answer. So you really have to have a good knowledge of programming actually for you to be able to understand whatever code ChatGPT is giving you. So I just gave a snap. These ones are like snapshots of ChatGPT performing HR and related tasks. Sorry, I have to like zoom in my screen so that you'll be able to see. Sorry. I would have actually used, okay. I don't know if you can see this. I said, ChatGPT, can you generate a report on employee turnover rates? And he said, sure, I can generate a report on employee turnover rates. Would you like me to retrieve data from the last quarter or specific time period? So like I already said now, you have to have had this data fed into ChatGPT for ChatGPT to be able to like retrieve any data or draw insight from that particular data that you've given it. So you can see, and I said, would you like me to retrieve data from the last quarter or a specific time period? Now, ChatGPT remembers things. You can say from the previous, from 2022 or 2021 or April 2000, and it will remember, it will go back, generate that information that you wanted to generate and give you the insights that you need. Then you now say, can you generate the report for the last year? Said, okay, I'm retrieving data for the last year. The report on employee turnover rate for the last year is as follows. Now, look at this. Total number of employees at the end of the year, 1,000. Total number of employees who left during the last year, 100. So up to, he said, the report also shows the department with the highest turnover rate and the reasons for employees' exits based on exit surveys and other data sources. So all this is what ChatGPT can do. Then I also came here and said, can you analyze employee feedback from the last engagement survey and identify common themes? Came and said the most common theme among employee feedback is the need for better communication from management. This is based on the feedback from employees. You know, it has identified the common things. It identified common patterns among employees' responses, and it has generated the results for it here. He said another common theme is the need for more opportunities for professional development. A third theme is the need for more work-life balance. So, and this is generated from a human resource management system that is available to the organization. So it is actually a very good idea for an organization to have, if you want to use ChatGPT as a human resource person or a HR analyst, sorry, you have to have, it's a good idea for the organization to have a HR system. So you can integrate ChatGPT into the system. Then this is where I said, okay, ChatGPT, can you provide a programming code for employee turnover rate? So this is what he did. He just gave me a guideline on how to do it. This is it. Give me a guideline on how to do it. So me that I understand Python now, I understand Python programming language, I can easily read this and I understand everything that was written here. So maybe somebody that doesn't really understand Python now will not really understand what's going on here. So like I said, you have to have a good knowledge of programming language or any analytical tool for you to be able to say, okay, could you provide a guideline on how to do employee turnover rates with Excel or with Python or with Pandas or with SQL or with Power BI. So yeah, so this is it. And
Thank you.
this is the end.
Thank you, Chinese.
Happy to answer any questions.
Thank you. That questions, yeah. So there's a question from Shola. Shola is asking, how can ChatGPT be incorporated into HRIS? Is this by subscribing?
No, it's not by subscribing. That's actually not my field. It's an API thing. It's something that the IT people should be able to do, the IT department. They are the ones that will be able to incorporate it into to be able to integrate it into the HR system. It's not something you can't subscribe. It's not subscribable. I think ChatGPT is actually very free. It's free. It's free to use. So I'm very sure it will be free to actually integrate into the HR system too.
All right, thank you. Okay, what's the other question I have here is, does ChatGPT use videos or images in its response back? As in, when it providing feedback, does it use images and videos and the rest?
Oh, okay. Yes, it generates images. Here. Sorry. Okay, this one now is just an image. It's image of a code, but ChatGPT cannot actually generate images. It cannot do that. At least not now.
Yeah, not yet. Not yet.
Not yet. I've tried. I tried to, but it did not work.
All right. Okay. All right.
Okay.
Thanks so much, Ineza.
I had the rest. I had it.
Thank you.
Sorry, I had somebody.
There's another question.
Somebody asked me a question.
Yeah, someone is asking. He said, "Is it free?" Yes, it is. It is free.
It's very free. Very, very free.
Okay, so you just answered it. Yeah. There you go. You answered it. It's free.
Okay, somebody asked me. Somebody sent me a direct message, and I can't actually see the message right now. The person asked that he or she is very interested in being a human resource analyst and what courses to take. So I'll first of all say, if you want to become a human resource analyst, first you have to know Excel. That's the very first step. Learn Excel, first of all. Then from Excel, you'll be able to learn other programming languages, because you actually need to be able to Excel. You can use Excel to analyze anything actually, but the limitation to Excel is the fact that it cannot handle large data sets. It can't handle large data sets. So that is why you have to learn Python. So the very first step would be to learn Excel. Then go ahead and learn Python.
Okay.
Then you learn SQL, and then you learn Power BI. But you are welcome to. Sorry, I wanted to just complete. You are welcome to connect with me on LinkedIn. My name is on the screen. Then I can give you more guidance on how to do that.
All right. Thanks, Chinaza. Thanks a lot for this. We looked at the number of people that registered, and we thought that a special session on HR will be good. There could be other areas. As an educator, as a journalist, as a teacher, we could do something that is personalized for ChatGPT. But again, it is a lot of things that you can learn on your own if you are really, really interested in it. If it's conversational, you can go online and start having a conversation with ChatGPT. So I think we're wrapping up now. If you have any question, you can drop it in the chat room. I will pick it up and I would try to answer them as much as possible. Okay, I don't have any question that has not been answered. So ChatGPT cannot generate pie chart. So the current one. So let's try something. Let me just go. Chinaza, you can stop sharing your screen. Let me check something from what my page here. So this is my own. Let me share my screen. Let me share my screen. So we can answer some questions directly. Let me see if we stay active. So is it starts? So let me just ask you this picture of Joe Biden. let's see what so you can see it said this current edition says, I am sorry, as a text-based AI language model, I do not have the capability to provide images. However, you can easily find pictures of Joe Biden by searching the internet. So this current edition cannot generate images. Like I said, it is not online. It is when they probably make improvement and let it access internet. Right now, it's free. The fear is that it might be monetized. In fact, we're lucky today we're able to access it at this time. Most times it's not available at this time. So whatever you want to learn from it, please do, because you can't tell what will happen in the next 2-3 months where they then need to improve it and take it offline, or improve it and ask you to pay $5 to be able to access it for 1 month, and so on. So you can still get a lot of things from it. Now, because it is open means that anybody can take it and use. So like I said, a telecommunication company can take it and deploy it for answering customer who overscratched their card, or customer who wants to register their SIM, or any of the use cases can be applied to ChatGPT. You know, I shared with you about my project when I was in school, and I was saying that, you know, universities can actually build something like this to, instead of you going to sit for JAM, they can use ChatGPT to even test candidates, you know, and then you're able to select the best from among students. They can gather enough data to say the kind of students we need must have X, Y, Z, and the rest. And ChatGPT can take away that testing that JAM needs to organize people, do 1 week, start sending SMS and all of those things. So the application is, yet nobody can tell that this is how it will be applied, but professionals are taking, because it is open, professionals are taking what they can do with it. Right now, someone has written a ChatGPT-like AI to dictate when a content is generated for ChatGPT. So people are taking from it what they can use to, for their own different professions. Like I said, you don't have to be a coder, but you can be a decoder. And being a decoder is understanding the codes that have been developed so that you can then appropriate it for your own to your own advantage. That's probably the end of our ChatGPT class. And if you have any question, you can drop it in the chat room. I will try to answer. Then if I can't answer here, I probably will send you an email. So can you introduce the institute that offers these courses you just mentioned? So I think this is to Chinaza. I can connect it to Chinaza, asking for Power BI, Python, Excel courses, and where someone can learn them. Right now, the university of the world is internet. So if you right now go on the internet, in fact, if you ask ChatGPT, they'll be able to suggest to you where you can get that training. Can ChatGPT check for plagiarism? So plagiarism is where someone has copied other people's work. The other ways, I think, is that ChatGPT will check, they can use they call it Turnitin, to check whether you have plagiarized ChatGPT in that way. But this technology can be adapted, right? So people can create use cases for it and then use it for their own specific area. There's so much that is still unveiling. It's just less than the release is less than 3 months. So November, December, January, this is February. So we're yet to see the end of it. And there are courses on it. If you go to Udemy, for instance, if you want to learn more, there are courses on ChatGPT that you can go check, and maybe also specific to your area. If you're a product manager, you can check it up, and even simple Google can give you whether there are courses that they've developed. So what people are doing is they are developing content based on the same way Chinasa has done for HR, people in particular field are developing content that they can then teach. Some earn from it, and it's a field that is open for everyone. Yeah. All right. Thanks for now, and I wish you all the best. We'll probably have another session some other time, and that will be more specific and tailored to a particular field. All right. Do have a good evening. Bye.
Thank you, sir. Bye.